Cool. Καλησπέρα. This is Vlodril and welcome back to Let's Play Elex. Where I was going around, got the cleric companion, or one of them, and I was going to get wow, is it snowing? It is snowing. Cool. I haven't seen snow before in the game. I was going to get a way into the city, which is find someone that's missing. That's pretty cool. Nice snowfall. I love snow in games, at least. One of the reasons I really liked the Division. One was the co-op and the other one was the atmosphere. Nice, alrighty. I see a hut and I see 4 enemies outside. 5 enemies. That's not great. And I don't have anything ranged either. And he doesn't either, so this is gonna be interesting. Oh my god, there's a gazillion of them. They are kinda easy to kill. Oh yes. Need to focus fire. Ouch. Help me. Thank you. Or not, I guess. That guy hit himself by charging into the wall. Alright. Thankfully they were easy, but we still got hurt, so not that easy. I so did something. And loot them, I guess. Why did they leave a small healing potion? Was that guy hiding inside and come out to help me? Because that would be a bitchy thing to do. Nope, he was dead. Alright then. I guess being dead excuses your not coming to help me. Really?
No.
Wow, okay. We broke a lockpick, so it wasn't that easy. Good loot though. Well, sort of. Oh wait, what the hell are they doing? That's a weird way to die. That's quite a tableau there. Was he trying to protect a woman or can't tell what killed them, so who knows. Maybe the game will tell me when I report to the other guy. Nope, 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 nope. Alright.
Plan your journeys to avoid the areas inhabited by the beasts of Magalan, and find safe places to stop. After all, not all of Kalan's creatures are helpful and friendly as Herbert. This is me broadcasting from the orbit to bring a warning to all free people out there. Stay safe in the wilderness.
Alright, so now what? There was a set of blank IDs, okay. So I guess I'm going back to that guy. So Abessa is the place and Ignadon is the fortress. Maybe. Alright. Well, there is a target on the minimap, so I guess that's where we go. Is that Elex? Damn. That's a huge natural Elex. Huh. But I can't take these huge pieces. Why? Are they too heavy? I don't know. I got the recipe too. Which I'm guessing I still need to find the fucking workbench somewhere. Hopefully they have a workbench in the city, because either there wasn't done or I totally missed it. I don't think I totally missed it, but it's not impossible either, so. Okay, the guy should be here. Yep, I remember him.
We could learn much from these ruins.
Get something to drink first. I
You?
am going, all right?
Wick is dead, but I found the ID cards on his body.
Dead? Shit. I told him whatever was there wasn't worth the risk. But Wick would do anything if it would mean him getting 2 shards he could tap together. Ah well, give me the blank ID card.
So he was attacking them then,
For you now.
not protecting here.
So, done. 1 fake ID ready to go.
Give me the counterfeit ID.
Okay, wait a second. Your image has to be added there first.
New level, nice.
So, done. Here's your ID. And this is the ID for Cooper. Take it to him. But make sure the clerics don't see it, see him, or see you handing this over. And do it as soon as you get in there. He's been at risk too long as it is. We don't need him being held, or worse, turned into a vegetable by the suggesters.
What are the suggesters? Man, all these factions are kinda...
Get something
crappy.
to drink first.
Alright, first let's see.
Something like that.
I heard he was robbed.
I should be worrying with that until I find something to craft. I lose the 5 armor, but I do get the book room, which means everything I read gives me experience.
Something like that.
Okay,
It's his own fault.
shut up. Alright, so I want dexterity,
I
yeah,
feel really
dexterity.
bad about it.
You think you can get a hold of a decent set of ALP components? I can find some shards to cover
I can't say
that.
that any more clearly.
Still not enough,
Yeah,
but...
you just can't find those these days.
This world has so much to give. I know you can say that.
Get something to drink first.
Just believe in it. Belief overcomes.
Wow, these guys really like to
You
talk.
completely sure? I mean, yeah, what the fuck?
We didn't make it halfway. It was all a...
My name is the Elex. The Elex is behind
Just in
most of
case.
this. I can feel it.
In the last few hours, the corporation will
Yeah,
provide
you
you
just
with
can't find
emergency
those these
transport
days.
to bring you and your family to safety. I don't like
I
saying
can't
it,
say that
but there
any
is a
more
high
clearly.
chance that
Oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
as soon as
Shut
the
up already.
research is learned. There won't be many survivors, but the corporation will make sure that you are amongst them.
Alright, let's get into the city. There are a lot of crows in this area. Alright, where the hell is Cooper? Did he give us a quest? Cool.
Halt! Not a step further. No one is allowed into the city without an entry permit.
I heard you hold people prisoner if they can't prove their identities.
Of course. Need a valid ID to enter or to leave. It's important we keep the right balance here, and that we can hold people accountable. We've worked hard to keep things running here. We can't start letting people flood in, or the troublemakers will take over. Anyone who tries to get around with ID is given straight to the suggesters to be taken care of.
What's a suggester?
Our suggesters are the reason things remain peaceful in the city. If someone causes trouble, then they're either thrown out, see a suggester for reorientation, or both. But don't worry, it's a positive experience.
Yeah,
Happy about life. Even so,
I guess they lobotomize them, which is interesting. Man, it would be fun if I actually picked to join the Outlaws, since they seem the least likely faction, but so far I really didn't like the Berserkers, and these guys seem like pompous assholes, but we'll see.
I have an entry ID. Let me through.
really? I thought I knew all the ones that had been issued. And you were here asking about getting ID before. So tell me where you got this one.
It's mine. I was issued one after all. Must have misplaced it.
All right. I'll believe you this once. I've got to be wary. That desert gang of outlaws is always trying to find ways to get by me. Oh, and there are some rules I need to tell you before you enter. First, stay away from the generators. Nobody but the technicians is allowed access to them.
Totally mine.
That sort of security is why we need to keep an eye on IDs. So if you meet someone who's in the city illegally, report them to us immediately. And Eric will take care of them. We can only keep peace in the city if we all work together, and we keep the city secure. That's what was laid down by the Great Council of Magalan. And the Great Council gave the clerics the responsibility for guaranteeing the city's independence. That means everyone is welcome here, until they cause trouble. So keep the peace while you're in there. Our suggesters are busy enough without you adding to their workload.
Maybe I should have told him about the counterfeits. I'm not sure about them yet, which is why I didn't.
The Council of Magalan.
The Great Council, yes. You'll have to speak to Judicator Alois if you want to know more about that. I'm not that well informed on my history.
What's happening in the city?
Nothing right now, but it's simmering. You can feel it. There was something building even before we let those Alp separatists in here. They just lit the touch paper. But hey, we're supposed to be a sanctuary, so someone decided to open the gates and let the separatists in.
Yeah, really.
How many separatists are there in the city?
Too many. Once an alb, always an alb. They still hit Elex. It's just a matter of time before they turn back. I don't know what they want in the city. I'd heard a bunch of them had set up a base in the west of Abessa, so they could have gone there. If we weren't so busy here, we'd have tracked them down and cleared them out of Abessa. Last thing we need is Zakor thinking we're harboring rebels.
Where can I find Eric?
Just go straight down the path into the inner city. You should find him there.
Who's Alois?
Alois is the Judicator in charge of the city. You'll find him in the castle. He likes to stay close to the generators.
Maybe I should start by being more honest with these guys until I figure out if I want to join them or not. I mean, the other guy might actually try to harm the generators, and I'm guessing the generators are what powers the dome. But let's see if I can talk to this Eric first, instead of Cooper. But that was, wow, a miniature them.
There's nowhere near enough Elex out there for that.
Ah, really?
Oh, this is the Outlaws, okay. So this is Cooper.
How do we move on from here?
Hey, you!
Let me guess. I'm not allowed into the upper quarter?
What? No, everyone's allowed to move about freely here. I just have a question for you. You got here recently, right? I just want to know what things are like outside the dome. What's going on up there? Are the Albs attacking?
There are raids, but there have been no major assaults recently.
I'm sure that's just the calm before the storm. I just hope the dome holds. There's a lot of people depending on this dome of mine, so they pass us by like a river around a rock. Kalan gave us the knowledge, and now look what we've achieved. A safe harbor for all people. The clerics and Ignadons say we've strayed. I say we've found the true path.
What the hell is Ignadon? I thought this was Ignadon.
You built the dome?
I designed the plans for it, then we built it together.
Damn, dude.
My name is Eric, by the way. Chief engineer here in the dome. I'm in charge of all the generators and technicians who oversee them.
So Ignadon is another place.
Why don't the clerics have a dome like this in Ignadon?
The dome requires immense amounts of energy, and the fluctuations in it have to be constantly balanced. The technology is complex. That means there's no way to cover the Hort with a shield like this. Besides, the cliffs around Hort give it a natural protection.
Can this dome survive an Alb attack?
Of course. Why do you think we built it? As long as we can maintain a constant energy flow, then they can't get in. Unfortunately, achieving that isn't so easy. Some of the energy regulators are starting to malfunction again.
Crafting 4? Nah.
I can repair the energy regulators.
I have crafting 4?
Thanks for the offer, but that's not necessary.
Wow. Oh, it's the +2 for the thing.
They just haven't all been installed yet.
Interesting.
I have a forged ID for you.
Are you trying to get me angry? Let me guess. Gregor, the dome guard, sent you. I told him 1,000 times I'm not responsible for these things. Alois is the city's supervisor. You should report such matters to him. Go on, go and play Gregor's messenger boy.
Whoa. You took a side? What? Alright, I'll need to redo that. I didn't mean to take a side.
I will take the ID to Alois.
No, it's alright, it's alright. Just give it
What?
here.
Where's my cold increased? Okay.
I'm sorry. I've got
God damn
enough to
it.
deal with.
Alright. Let's redo this. That's the game. The way the game does choice and consequences. So, on the other hand, it's very natural, but on the other hand, it's hard for you to understand sometimes that you are making a choice. Like right now, the guy said, "Go speak to him," and then we got. You picked a side. We don't know anyone here, or that there were sides. Or your cold increased. I guess the cold increased and the sides thing could be the outlaw thing, but kinda looked like it was there are two sides of clerics or something. I don't know. Let's see what happens if we give it to Cooper. I think this is the last time I do this. I dislike save scamming.
It doesn't matter how you see it. I see it differently.
It allows you to earn a few shards, and that's what makes it worthwhile.
What do you want? Do you back the clerics here, or do you want them gone?
Oh, what? Why? It's their place. What do you mean?
You get right to the point, don't you?
And are you gonna give me an answer?
No. God damn, really?
I'm for the clerics.
You think they bring security? That they protect us? They say they're here to keep things safe, to keep order. But it's obvious they want to drop their neutrality and extend Ignadon's control into Abessa. Not allowing anyone in or out of the city. That's just the start of it. You think that's because the Alps are getting closer? Or that those followers of Kalan really want a backdoor for invasion?
Apparently we have no idea what the hell is going on. I think this might be an outpost of the clerics, not their main city. Their main city being Hort. Or Ignadon or whatever.
The Albs are more of a threat than the clerics.
Executions, converters, torture. Believe me, I know all about that shit. But those guys are only interested in Elex, and as far as I know, there isn't any more here in the city than there is elsewhere. So why should they show any interest in attacking a fortified position to get it, instead of sweeping up all there is out there?
The Albs want all the Elex. All of it. No matter where it is.
Inside you, etc.
We don't want Elex. They have to see that. They'd be attacking us for nothing.
Oh, this guy doesn't get it.
The clerics.
Why don't you do something to stop the clerics?
What's that got to do with you? You expect me to trust you just like that?
Okay, I don't know.
Remarkable.
How are you doing, Falk?
I need more information before I
Say
pick.
right now. Let me think further.
Seriously. We need a lot more information before we pick sides.
Punished for that in the past, but
Let's look around before we make a choice. Hello, Vivian.
Leave your hands where I can see them.
What? No, that's when you look at things they do that. So weird.
What is it you want?
Who are you?
You first. Come on. Who are you? There is something that is familiar about you, but I
am
can't quite
Jax.
place it. No matter, I suppose. All people are welcome in Abessa, as long as they are prepared to forget their past. Even Albs are allowed in here. I think Albs would be perfect people if they weren't so emotionless. But then, that is why they are the only faction I have never belonged to.
What do you mean? You mean you want to become an Alb?
That's a long story. If you're really interested in my tale, Then I will tell you, of
I
course.
see they haven't fixed
My
the
personal quest is to discover more
chest
about
issue.
Magalan and the people who live here. I would like to know more.
Whoa, this is the first time this has happened then.
Let me think about it.
That companion has actually talked. Nice. Sure.
Tell me your story. How did you end up joining the clerics?
Right, I'll give you the full version. Well, the short version of the full version.
Just get on with it.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. So, I grew up in Goliath in Edan. My father and mother were both born berserkers, and so that meant I was too. Back then, Bajar ruled over Goliath. As a child, I had no interest in the laws, of course. But when I was about 12 years old, one of the warlords came to our home. He took my parents, and I was left on my own to survive in the city. I remember him. I remember my parents leaving. And I remember me screaming. But everything else is gone. It's just a blur.
What happened to your parents?
Well, what else? They were exiled. Nobody ever told me why they were exiled. I still don't know what they did, even today. I hate the Berserker laws. Nothing against the Berserkers. They're just people. It's the laws I hate. I think what the Berserkers want to do with Magalan is right. But I can never forgive them for what they did to my parents. Why was I punished for whatever my parents did? Why wasn't I told what had happened? I swore never to return, and I haven't set foot in Edan again.
Give me somebody.
Wherever I needed to survive. That meant running from reavers
Too much
and wild
talking.
animals. It didn't take long for some reavers to take me captive. And then, I don't want to talk about that.
Wow, your life
I was
sucked.
lucky, though. After several years, the reavers were attacked by some of the Duke's outlaws, and they took me back to Tavar. I learned how to fight, how to live off scrap. Life wasn't much different from Edan, but there wasn't the same raptor shit. The laws. You could be who you were, and no one judged you.
Then why didn't you remain with the outlaws?
Because the reavers who'd taken me captive came to the fort and wanted to speak to the Duke. I think they wanted to take me back. I fled when they saw me. I didn't want to be taken back, or for them to kill me to hide their crime. When I left the fort, I ran into a cleric patrol. They
Who said
convinced
they
me to go to
would
the
give
fort.
you up?
Not that I really needed that much convincing. All those hours taking scrap apart and putting it back together in Tavar really paid off there. The clerics recognized that I was good with technology. So, I've been working on mechs and AI systems since then. Building things. Trusted. Part of a team. And it's easier being with mechs. They don't judge anyone. They treat everyone the same. Like this place. I know it's not perfect. But outlaws, berserkers, clerics, even elves are seen as people. At least that's the vision. Not always the way it happens. That's another reason to maintain these mechs. To protect what we have here.
Sounds like a quest lane.
I hope you find your place in the world. It's good when you do.
What are you doing here in Abessa?
I take care of the mechs and drones here in the city, which means I coordinate and plan their maintenance and upgrades. When I'm lucky, I get to roll up my sleeves and do some of the actual maintenance. Which I'm having to do quite a lot, with all the technicians we're missing. Say, are you good with technology?
6? Damn.
I know enough to work on Max.
Really?
You do? Maybe
I
we
do.
can take you on in a permanent position here in the city.
Do you think they would employ me?
That's true. Alois has security concerns about taking anyone who's not been in the city long enough. So, yeah, maybe I should look for someone else. On the other hand, if you're looking for some part-time work...
I'm not sure how I have so much high
I have 4 people I've been told I should look at for taking
crafting.
a technician's job, but I don't have time to gauge their abilities. Would that be something you could do for me? I'd pay you.
Maybe it counts as each individual thing as crafting, like +1 for goldsmith or whatever I got. Chemist and gem sockets. And I have the +2 from the thing. Maybe it counts it like that, because otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll talk to your candidates.
Great.
But that's interesting.
The 4 names I have are Daryl, Naira, Rorik, and Riley. Though I'm really not sure about Riley. There's something about him I don't trust. But
I like her.
speak to each of them.
Kinda
and
weird,
let
but I
me
like
know
her.
whether you think they
She
might
is
have
kinda
the right
weird.
skills and abilities for the job.
Also-
Oh, and I'll need you to let me know about their loyalties. You know, can they work with clerics? Do they hate us? We'd be trusting them with the mechs and AI that defend the Dome City. So I don't want to employ anyone who might still be thinking about their faction, not our security.
That's a weird way to put a mark on her uniform. Just saying. I mean, I could get that, but she's right there, so... This place looks nice, though.
Be on your best behavior, all right?
The AI is kinda weird as far as their things go. Damn, what is that? That's a nice weapon. Which seems to be broken. These guys look great as far as technology go. I'm feeling them. Much more than the previous guys.
You should think about leaving.
No. Nah. Just looking around. Let's go to that side.
That turns my blood cold.
They say the raptors are pretty fierce.
Alright,
He
so
always
have
thought he could talk his way around anyone.
clerics and outlaws. And Albs somewhere.
Huh. What do we have here? Fresh meat?
Damn, that's a lot of grenades.
To meet you as well.
Pleasant to... Are you mentally stable? How did you get the guard to let you into the dome? I'd watch out. They're probably trying to recruit you. You wouldn't be the first to come here looking for shelter only to end up bowing down to Magalan. However you got in, you're going to find it even harder to get out. The clerics are a little jumpy at the moment. You might say paranoid. So, when they do let someone in, it does make me wonder who they are and why the clerics thought letting them in was a good idea.
If it's so hard to get in, what are you doing here?
I got in before things got so paranoid. And I came here for profit, of course. Lots of nervous people close to the Alps tend to be willing to invest shards in their safety, you see. And getting hold of supplies is hard out here. So, if you can get them, you can sell them for a high price. Well, that was the plan. Now, the clerics have stopped me trading and cut off all the supplies.
Where do you get your goods from?
Mostly directly from Tavar. And that's the main problem. Seeing as the clerics have got picky about who comes in and goes out of here. It's impossible to get by the guards without an ID card. And they took mine from me as part of their crackdown. Now they say I'm causing trouble. But what else is a businesswoman supposed to do when she has her business taken from her?
About your trade ban.
Yeah, don't tell me. Trading weapons can pose a danger to the community. But this is about self-defense. The only person who can stop a person with a gun is a person with an even bigger gun. Am I right? I mean, what? Are we supposed to throw rocks at the Alps when they attack? But the clerics want to keep all the guns for themselves and screw the rest of us. They call it neutrality, but I say it's oppression.
You have a ton of guns on you.
Sounds like you could use some help.
Yes. Yes, I could. Still, let's say he's right. And that I could get a hold of supplies. Not from Tavar, obviously. They've blocked that route. Let's say I could get some weapons from the Separatists, for example. Let's say they have weapons and need shards. And that they also have the business acumen of a stunned troll, so they need a salesperson. Me, for example. What if I was to say that? And what if I was to say that I have to find someone who could enter and leave the city freely? If I was to say that, then what would you say?
Do you really think you can trust the Separatists?
I can't leave without profit. Hell, right now I can't eat without profit. So I need this deal. So if you blab, what have I lost? Nothing. And without
Are they
any
starving
guns to
them?
show, it's just your word against mine. And even Alois isn't going to see that as justice.
I could help you get your weapons.
Good. Right. So, this is what you need to do. Leave the city and find a separatist called Radok. I think he's a separatist. But whatever he is, he's a mad fucker. I can't make sense of most of what he says. But he has the weapons, and he likes trade. I think he likes trade. It's hard to tell. He wants to sell the weapons, but you'll have to work on him, okay? He won't just hand them over.
Where can I find Radok?
Up in the Highlands. When we last spoke, he told me he was going to head over to the northeast. He mentioned an abandoned wind turbine. With luck, he'll still be out there.
I mean, if they have taken over the city and they don't allow people to eat, unless they pay, that makes them assholes, basically. Because they don't allow them to trade, to make money or live, so that's forcibly starving them. I don't know. Let's look around.
Keep your hands off my machines. Any accidents are gonna be dangerous for me, you, and the whole city. The energy regulators are screwed. The surge gauge is failing and I can't see why. And now the shield profiler is returning a really strange set of values. Altogether, that makes for one dangerous set of problems that could fry both of us if the wrong bit of kit gets jolted. And I'm the one who has to fix all this. Ah, shit, I can't even sort out the replacement parts until I have this stabilized.
I can get the replacement parts for you.
You would? Well, okay, yeah. That would give me time to stop this from going...
Nice glasses.
You'll need to go to Eric to fetch them for me. But do me a favor and don't take forever in getting them here, alright?
Okay. Go to Eric. And the city is pretty big. Let's come back at this area after I actually go to Eric, just in case that actually explodes. It probably won't, but you never know.
Hey, you. You got here.
I can repair.
I've already...
About... What will happen if they aren't repaired?
If just one regulator fails, it could mean an emergency shutdown for the
You're a crap engineer.
Otherwise, the discharge it would create could kill a whole lot of the people the shield is supposed to be protecting. But whether it's a discharge or an emergency shutdown, both scenarios would see us defenseless.
Again, you don't make something that having one thing failing kills everybody, blows up and kills everybody. You should have some redundancy.
How many energy regulators?
I guess he got taught by the Destiny engineers.
I've sorted replacements where I can.
On Titan.
But Lutz hasn't received his yet.
I will help you with the energy regulators.
I wanted to do it myself, but do you really think you could handle it? So, let's find out who you are. You should go to Ignadon one day. You could be a good cleric. Yeah, I know I left Ignadon behind, but they could offer you better training than I could. I have the energy regulator here. Please, take it to Lutz and help him to install it. Come back to me when you're done.
Okay. So basically, this is not the main faction for the clerics. Interesting.
Hey, you. I heard you speaking to Eric. He gave you an energy regulator for the dome, right? Give it to me, will you? Very soon now, you're going to need the right sort of friend, and giving that to me will earn you that.
What?
Why do you want the regulator?
Haven't you noticed the tension here? All the anger.
That guy is
scares the
not
hell out of me.
reliable.
So I want a way out of here if things go wrong. A sort of back door. I want to modify the regulator so I can drop a section of the dome and get out if things go bad. Let me modify it. Then I'll give it back to you so you can get it to where it needs to be. You've got to see why I'd want a way out, yeah? So do we have a deal?
There's no option.
Profit is profit. I respect that attitude. What do you think about 100 shards?
I won't give you the regulator.
Then you've blown your chance. And don't come back to me and ask for help when no one will let you out of here.
Let's trade.
Let's trade.
Okay.
Oh my god, that instant whiplash. Alright, let's sell this. I'm not using it anyway. Yeah, I'm not selling these. Trophies. I could sell this, but I'm not sure I want to. Sell the junk. Ooh, getting rich here.
That was well done.
You like that, I guess. Alright. Let's go speak to the... That guy.
Eric sent me.
Thank Kalan. Do you have the energy regulator?
Yes. Here.
Perfect. That looks great. Thanks. Thanks for getting that. I'll install it immediately. You better get back to Eric. You can tell him I'm putting it in right now.
Okay. I guess if I'm gonna pick a side, I'm probably not gonna pick the outlaw side.
You got lucky. That wasn't luck. That was pure skill.
You were lucky.
Hey, separatist. I want to speak to these guys.
Some guys just open their mouths too much. I've heard a lot about that. I'm not sure I believe it.
I'm guessing these are the separatists.
I swear those
maybe
creatures
not.
are getting more dangerous. Someone's got to sort this shit out before we drown in it.
This guy sounds paranoid too, though. Man, this game doesn't give you a lot of easy paths. Whatever you pick is probably gonna be crappy. So far away. Alright.
What am I doing?
Tavern.
Nobody listens to me.
Yeah, I definitely need a few more shards.
Nobody even listens there. That's the problem.
Nah.
Save yourself. If we all did our duty, then duty would be done.
Those ruins are still full of useful things.
Why would you do
in the
that?
right places?
From the gutters. And you
Really?
keep your supplies for the real people.
Fucking elves. They'll cost all of us.
No. You must have missed out.
Do you ever think about how things might have been before the comet?
These guys are completely screwed. No argument.
Nah.
I'm on nobody's.
They say that the pilgrim Thorald has
Shut
Those
up.
ruins are still full of useful things. If you look in the right places.
The fight is the only thing that matters. That makes a real deal.
Whatever you say.
As he wishes. You should do it.
Some guys just open their mouths too much.
What about the rest of us, huh?
I will come
Talk, that's all he is.
I've heard a lot about that. I'm not sure I believe
We'll
it.
never find out.
I need to change.
You gotta think before you go out and do that.
Hey, traveler. Is your throat dry? Are your feet aching? Whatever your problem, I have what you need. One good swig will cure all
Is it poison?
I heard about your fight with Brabeck.
Ah, forget that guy. Every city has someone like him. You just have to ignore them. Let me know if I can do something for you.
Do you have any news to go with that drink?
News? I presume you're talking about news from in here. I don't hear anything much from the outside now the city gates are sealed. Now, the future of the domed city is the only topic people are concerned about right now. That's pretty much all of the conversation. There's been peace in here for years, but right now, well, we're all set for things to boil over. I don't want to say it's the cleric's fault. It's always easy to blame the people in charge, isn't it? But who else do we blame? The berserkers, the outlaws, the separatists? Me? I find it best not to blame anyone.
How is business?
Now that everyone is paying credit? Roaring. Not many people aren't happy to pay on credit. It's me that's holding the bill and hoping to get paid before I run out of supplies. Speaking of which, do you know where I can get any food supplies? I'll pay real shards to get more food supplies in.
Most people try to earn a profit in your situation, huh?
Try, yeah. Achieving is something different. I'd rather you get the supplies honestly, but if you take them from people who have too much, who am I to question it?
Man,
but
no good people anywhere.
Nothing, then I don't want anything from you. I like to keep things honest.
Do you want to trade?
Alright, what do you have? Nothing. What kind of supplies though? He doesn't tell me.
No argument. I call that dangerous half knowledge.
That's one way of thinking about it.
I go up? I guess I can go up.
Nobody fucking cares.
We'll never find out, will we?
Will you just leave?
I don't want anything to do with it.
Oh, apparently it's forbidden.
That's it. Get the hell out of here.
Well, I was standing there. You could tell me not to go in. What the hell is wrong with you people? Weirdos. Alright, let's sleep.
No, right?
Because it's night and I can't see anything. And then we'll continue exploring. I need to find the separatists.
Just watch out for those damned Alps. There's still some of them out there.
No, really? Alps? Where?
If you're here for the food rations, then I'll tell you what I told the other 100 people. Someone must have been making a joke. I don't have anything to sell or give out, so you can just turn around and leave.
What are you talking about?
The free rations! The free rations! As if there would ever be free rations! Ah, but you're not here for that, are you? Then I'm sorry. I have been the butt of a joke that has left me rather angry, and I thought... Well, I'm sorry. It's just... I'm just so sick of it. The belligerence between the berserkers and outlaws. Everything was simpler when I was a cultivator in Goliath. We had laws and everyone obeyed them. Why can't people just all work together?
Indeed. What was the line? Why can't we all just get along?
If you feel that way, why don't you go back to Goliath?
No. Those days are gone. I left willingly to establish a world heart here in Abessa. But when it became clear that the seedling wouldn't grow, Caleb decided that we would remain here. And whatever Caleb says is best. But now, no, I can't go back. We went against orders from Goliath. If I go back now, they'll just stick me in a cage, no questions asked.
Well,
fucking elves.
Obviously, not whatever Caleb says is best.
know who you're talking about.
I'll meet you again later on. Don't think you can steal anything here.
That seems shady.
Hey, come over here. Let's get a drink together.
What are we celebrating?
Victory over the Alps! Or do you have another reason to celebrate? Because any reason works for me.
Victory over the Alps?
Well, imminent victory. Got to be, hasn't it? Or don't you have any confidence in us? Don't say the wrong thing now. You got to believe if you want to succeed.
If you keep drinking, you're not going to beat anyone.
What the? I was being hospitable there. Now you're opening your mouth.
Wow, okay. He's an asshole. We'll get it, game.
Shut it. And I am so close to plugging it for you.
Let's do this.
But because you're new, I'll give you a chance. One final chance. If you get the next round, we'll stay good friends. So, what'll it be? Are you gonna take it in the teeth or feed it to the liver?
Show me what you've got.
A fighter. Let's have you then, fighter.
Come on. Wow, okay. Take forever.
There's nothing for you here.
Is the fight over? What the fuck? You cheating bastard!
What the hell is wrong with you?
What the fuck did you do to me?
I beat you, asshole.
Yeah, keep pushing your luck. Someone will shut that big mouth permanently one day.
Why aren't you in a den with the other berserkers?
Fuck the berserkers. I don't have anything more in common with them. They would have exiled me to the valley sooner or later, so I beat them to the punch and left. Fuck them and their laws. You can have it much easier here. And if you want to earn something for nothing, try fighting one of the outlaws here in the domed city. Those assholes always come off worse. Just ask Riley. He knows it's time for him to take another beating.
Wow, this guy though.
Why do you want me to fight Riley?
It's about time someone pays him a visit. Now,
no.
You're the one to do it. That lying shit is telling people I killed a family out in the Badlands. Total fucking bullshit. I killed 5 families out in the Badlands. Parading around out there. Hardly a weapon between them.
What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
To die. Those dipshits got themselves killed. And now, Riley spread it all around the dome. He's even got some of the guards believing his yabber. But if someone else were to shut him up, I'd be in the clear, and those guards would be off my back. Take care of him, and I'll make it worth your while.
You need to learn respect for others.
You think that because you beat me once, that I'm afraid of you?
Can't beat you again.
You are so wrong. So piss off, or I'll give you your head on a plate.
Give people some respect and you won't need to fight.
Let me tell you something right now. I'm gonna give your whore of a mother
wow.
a reason to cry.
So over the top. Okay.
I will notice if anything goes missing, alright?
Alright. God damn it, I wish I knew how to do it. Hard to fight in here. What the hell are you doing? Can you get out of the way at least? Thank you.
Alright. You've made your point. So leave me alone.
Combat 20, what?
You had better leave people alone from now on.
I got it.
Okay.
So annoying. So annoying.
That was something.
How are you doing, Falk?
It is hard to say right now.
This guy is not sure he likes me or not.
Check the supplies. Be ready in case they return.
Alright, can we make... I guess I can make that.
I saw you.
You saw me what?
I saw how you came through into the dome. Who are you? Why were you allowed in?
That's none of your business.
Then it sounds like you got in here illegally. As much as the clerics claim they control the gates, they really don't seem to be able to stop people getting in. And by that, I don't just mean you. Can you believe it? There are fucking albs in the city.
Yeah, I can't believe it, actually.
Who are you?
Caleb. I lead the berserkers who've chosen to settle here in Abessa.
Who chosen?
Does that mean you're exiles?
Well, none of us are allowed to return to Edan now. Or we just end up being sent to the valley. As to why they came here, well, the first settlers were sent to Abessa to plant a world heart to expand the forest of Edan out here. But they were cut off from Edan by the Alps, left on their own to survive. And after a while, they decided to keep it that way. The warlords in Goliath weren't happy. But they're stretched too thin for another conflict, so here we are. And since they settled here, others have joined us. Some are escaped exiles, others just chose to leave Edan.
What do you have against the Separatists?
They are coming here, to our city. The only city with a real chance of peace among the factions. If it was up to me, then we would make sure these elves went somewhere else. They might say we have the same goal, the same enemy, but I don't believe a word of what they say. Who says they aren't spies sent here to deactivate the dome? They can't be trusted.
You want to have all the Separatists thrown out of the city?
Yeah. And you know what? I have already started to make it happen. I'll recruit anyone who'll help get this done. We have an eyewitness who claims to have seen the Separatists exchanging information with the Alps. Traitorous bastards.
Who is this eyewitness?
The berserker Jorg saw Fenk meet with an Alb in front of the city. Why would they meet if it wasn't to exchange?
In front of the city, sure. That makes total sense.
Jorg is the only one who's seen Fenk. And now he started saying he isn't sure he really saw Fenk meet an Alb from Zaporn. So I have to jog Jorg's memory. Or make sure he stops denying what he said. There has to be a way to do that.
You don't think that Jorg could have been wrong in the first place?
No, never. You can't trust these Separatists. They'll betray us sooner or later for sure. I'm telling you, this is just the beginning.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Alright, this is... wow. This city, everyone's about to kill each other. Alright, I'll take a small break and I'll be right back with more Elex.